I was born in the southern part of Iran, a city called Abadan, born in a Muslim family, Shiite Muslim family. My grandfather was a Muslim leader, and he had 19 children, and out of 19 children, he had 84 grandchildren. And obviously, he had to choose one to carry the spiritual pattern of the life and the teachings for the next generation. So he gave me very close attentions, and he taught me all the things I knew about Islam. I joined Hezbollah. I was in that army for about 3 years. I was studying Quran extensively then. Actually, I sowed this seed in my heart that I should share Islam with the poor, misled Christians that have gone astray, and obviously remind and be a spiritual leader to our family outside Iran. I traveled to Malaysia, where I was caught with 30 illegal passports, put in prison. And so I started teaching Islam in the jail and telling everybody what they must do, what are their duties toward Allah. The Shiites do pray 3 times, but what I did, because I wanted to spend more time with God, I did it at 5 separate times. And then in the end of the evening, I would pray extra prayers. I would have a habit of reading through the Quran cover to cover once every 10 days. And I had gained the spiritual powers out of Islam. In Quran, they have the spiritual beings, and so speaking to them is not forbidden. In fact, there are stories of talking to them that Prophet Muhammad did. So I had been able to connect to that spiritual realm and been able to acquire powers out of that. They are the secrets of Quran. And so when I was meditating on this, a spirit entered the room, and it was much more powerful than I could handle, or I could overcome. And so I was filled with fear. And so I tried using all the tools Islam had given me. In the name of Allah, I command you to leave, Satan, I rebuke you, kind of things. And I used all those, and nothing was helping. At that moment, I was totally desperate, and I felt like it is choking me, choking the life out of me, and I felt like I'm dying in that cell. And I just cried out to the heavens, and I said, God, in Farsi, Khuda, help me. And immediately I heard a voice, just as clear as you hear my voice today, saying, bring the name of Jesus. And at that moment, I really seriously did not give it 1 second of thought. I feel like going back, I was drowning. And so I did. I said, Jesus, if you are true, show me yourself. And before I was finished with the sentence, everything was back to normal. Now, that was not my conversion. That was the beginning of my confusion. Why would Jesus help a Muslim? Now, I had done everything in my power to be a good Muslim. I had already tried to go and commit myself in the way of Allah and be a martyr for Him, walking on the mines. And so the government of Iran is used to issue the people that are fadai, or the ones that are willing to give themselves, to sacrifice themselves, a special Quran that had the stamp of the government. I had participated in the executions by hanging. But that question, why would Jesus help a Muslim? Why would Jesus help a Muslim? That would just keep coming at me. I believe in Muhammad, the last prophet, I would think, in the perfect religion. Why would Jesus come to help me? And so that 2 weeks period, I just got really confused, and I said, okay, I'm going to pray and fast and ask God Himself to show me the path. I have been afraid all my life, trying to do everything that would please Allah, and now He confuses me. If Allah is all great and He sees the heart, He knew in my heart I love Him. And what matters if I call Him whatever name I call Him? He knows in my heart I love Him. And if it does matter to Him, I asked Him for 2 weeks. I sat, prayed, and nothing happens. So, you know what? I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to go walk my own path. I'm going to do what pleases me. Obviously, at that very moment, I felt the power of God filled the room. Now, in Islam, the greatest sin you can commit, and you can never be forgiven for that, is doubting God Himself. doubting his teachings, doubting his prophet. And I had done that. And in Islam, they teach you that Allah never visits, God never visits human beings. And I know against Islam I have committed the greatest sin that can never be forgiven. God's presence is in the room, and I'm confronted immediately with His holiness. All this is happening simultaneously, and I'm confronted with His holiness, which puts this weight of sin upon me. And I know that because He is just, He must kill. So I just ran to the corner of the room, and I held my head in my arms, and I just cried out, God forgive me, God forgive me, God forgive me, God forgive me. And I just said, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. And as I was crying and just saying, forgive me, I felt a touch on my shoulder saying, I forgive you. And the very instant those words were spoken, I physically felt forgiven. And I couldn't understand it. Who is this God that says, I forgive you, and I feel forgiven today? And I asked, I said, who are you? Who is this God that says, I forgive you, and I feel forgiven today? And I asked, I said, who are you? They can forgive me, and I feel. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So I asked him, what is your name? Jesus Christ, the living God, he answered. And the moment he spoke those words, it was as if every single bone was taken out of my body, and I just fell on my face to the ground, and I started weeping in the presence of God. I just wept. I still can't, this 18 years have gone by, but I still can't forget His love, His mercy. I can't forget what it is for me that day. And He just said, I forgive you. I felt forgiven. I fell on my face. I just wept because for many years I had tried to please God, but nothing I had done was pleasing to God. Nothing I had done. It wasn't even the bright God that I had known. I felt so deceived because they told me this is God and He wasn't God. They told me, قُتُلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, kill in the way of Allah. But then this God says, love in the way of me, forgive in the way of me. And it was everything my heart existed for. He said, yes, this is the truth of God. God is about forgiveness. God is about love.